working that shit. Love them. But yeah, I'm just trying these are like, the noise canceling, big ass over the head headphones.
Yeah, so, that's what I got. I can't wait to try them dialed out. Going to Japan this year.
I got a pair of Japanese headphones too, the Tozos, Tozo, little like earbuds. Those are great. Bought them on Amazon, but had them for years.
Nice.
Those hoes.
Tozo.
Those hoes.
I don't know those hoes.
Those hoes knows.
Toto knows these hoes.
All right. Any topics you guys want to, other than the few I sent you? Anything else you want to talk about? I know it's the after season. We can also talk about. As much as I hate to say it, take what?
We can do if you want to do a weekly softball update. I can tell you about getting called out on a third strike, one at bat, triple down the left field line next at bat. I can tell you about some drama in Thursday night softball if you want.
I think there's another show for that.
Yeah, dude, the guy froze me. Straight rung me up looking. That hasn't happened in probably over a decade.
Did the give you a big? Did he give you a big punch out?
Oh, he was an old timer. He was a no nonsense old timer though. But yeah,
he gave you a.
I thought it was deep, but it kind of fell. The ball just dropped right when I was like, I didn't even argue. I'm like, it's too close to take. I shouldn't have took it. But the fucking laced one down the left field line next at bat. And we won, so whatever. Okay, that concludes our softball.
Let's talk softball.
We had a guy, Sean, that used to do that. He used to like fucking backpedal and shit when he caught you out. He was awesome. Puerto Rican dude. He'd get real animated.
So anything else other than we're going to do like all the roster updates? Jeff and I were just kind of talking about this. Do you guys want to touch on transfer speculation? Transferring out?
I really don't know.
We have no information, but I'll
recklessly
speculate on anything.
That's what we do. This is basically the tagline for the show.
Reckless speculation.
Throw something out there. I'll speculate on it. I don't even know where to begin my speculation.
All right. And we can continue what seems to be a weekly recurring theme is Michigan is weird.
this week in Michigan weirdness.
It's like
this week's installment.
It's just a different chapter.
I did read up today because I wanted to get the charges correctly. It was and I almost forgot it again. Internet? Fuck. Internet. I forget Matt White.
Computer crimes. They generally worded it that way. Yeah.
I thought it was funny how it was worded though.
No, it doesn't make sense at all. But I'm sure that it's not great. Not great, Bob. But if there's anything else you guys want to bring up, I also have the early odds for the CFP National Championship next year. I don't think we talked about that last week, right?
No.
We can just kind of lazy river it, kind of just float along and see where it takes us.
Right, yeah. Usually those rivers are pretty dirty, though. So maybe that's perfect. Maybe that's a perfect analogy. Oh, hey, hold on.
Hey.
Bourbon Talk, I got a question for you, Sean. I think we talked about this before. Let's kick off the show. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Buckeye Cast. Appreciate everybody joining us. If you're listening on podcasts, we have a new premium option, $3.99 a month. You get early access to every episode. So the Daily Buckeye Blitz, you get that the day before everybody else. $3.99. Then you also get your shows commercial free. You guys hate commercials. I hate commercials. I have subscribed to multiple podcasts just to cut out those fucking commercials. See, I got these big fucking Neanderthal like thumbs. I can't hit that fast forward button without hitting the pause button right next to it because they're both like a millimeter in size.
Fat thumb.
So
a thumb.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys have that problem too, right? Like hitting that fast forward.
I got a lot of finger dexterity, to be honest with you.
Well, you're the one then. Your wife probably
you're the guy.
For it. Your wife loves you for it. But
Pretty
anyways,
quick like that.
most of us
get with it.
Most of us normal humans cannot hit that fast forward button as easily without hitting the pause button. So you're like constantly like want to throw your phone out the fucking window for multiple reasons besides that, but mostly the fast forward. So anyway, the Buckeye Cast Premium is an option. Nothing's going to change with the regular episodes with commercials. Nothing's changing there. You'll still get them, but it's just a service that I'm offering, $3.99 a month, or save yourself a ton of money, $40 a year. You save yourself $8. It's basically 10 months for the price of, or 12 months for the price of 10, So no commercials, which is most important. And then you also get your shows a day before everybody else. So check it out if you're interested. Just want to throw that out there. And so next, let's talk about, I don't know. I got a bourbon question. So Sean, did you and I have talked about the Blanton's Black Label, right? From Japan?
Maybe in passing, but
not officially. Not that I would quote you.
Right.
Nothing on the record.
Right. So that is that made in Japan or is that exported to Japan? Do you know that?
I do not know that.
Okay. Because I got a friend that just told me Friday night.
He's got a line on some?
That apparently there's a special Blanton's readily available in Japan that is $30 over there. $30 US.
Well, I think I'm going there at the end of May, beginning of June. So
I told him if it's this black label, which I thought it was, there's a black and a red label. I said, if they're selling that for $30 US, buy me a case. So I was trying to refresh my memory about what we had talked about. And then I don't know if it's the same as what he is talking about. And I can't see them exporting and then re-importing Blanton's for $30 a bottle.
Exactly. To ship it over there to make it and whatever and ship it over there. And it's not like
margins. The margins aren't matching up.
The thing is, there for a while, it's kind of been correcting itself here for the last month, but the yen was going haywire weak against the dollar. So maybe what was a $40 bottle, $45 bottle, maybe got down to like $30 with the conversion rate before that all catches up with itself. It's sitting on the shelf at $30 before they've updated their pricing and blah blah blah. But to me, that's the only thing that would make sense. $30 though. I'll try and check it out next time.
But even if it's 40, still buy me a case, because I've seen that black label here on the beachside at Norman's behind the counter. They get like a couple bottles of it. It's like 160.
Yeah, $40 a bottle.
Online, it's 180, 120, or 160.
Well, Sean, even obviously we know you can't just start shipping cases of liquor back, but if we can
why not
if we can just find the place or get the name of the place, and if we can order online, I'll have a case shipped to my house. $40 a bottle. Yeah. I mean,
I actually have shipped some things to Japan, and if you're going to ship things from Japan to the US, your cost per bottle is going to go up substantially.
Sure.
Just so you know.
Of course.
In shipping costs.
Right. Yeah. So you're looking maybe $100 a bottle total.
You depending. I mean, I wouldn't know specifically and how you got it here, but you'd want it well packed and
Yeah. We'll have to do some investigation on that.
Check a bag one time. Really big bag.
check a bag. Clang clang. This is all full of liquor. Clang 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 clang.
Well, if a liquor proprietor doesn't pack it right, then it's probably not worth owning.
Mr. Sean.
Well, if it's come from Japan, it actually will be packed amazing because that's the packaging in Japan it's a whole different level of shit.
Yeah. So just wanted to throw that by you. You guys have any bourbon tonight that you might be consuming or laying out?
I still got this little piggyback 6-year rye I'm working on.
Okay.
It's nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Took some pictures. I've actually I've got to research them. I've been at a couple stores and took some pictures of some stuff I don't know about. I hate to just grab something off the, especially something you're getting in that $60 range. I hate to just grab that without doing a little bit of research first,
I agree. Yeah.
But there's some Bardstown Fusion ones that are available up here by me that, they're running right around in the 60s, but I don't know much about them.
All right. So I would say get the regular Bardstown. I have one of the Fusions, and everybody's taste is different. So there's no right or wrong answer to what people like. I mean, I know I have my judgments about what I like, but it doesn't mean it's the same as what you guys like. So I have one of the Bardstown Fusions, and it's just like too sweet for me. So I would say get the regular Bardstown. I've heard a lot of good things about that, but I would lean away from the Fusions, and they're usually more. I think they're cheaper than the regular good Bardstown. Just my opinion.
Well, there you go.
But
and there you have it.
Just my opinion. Let's tell people to drop their comments into the chat, since I have not yet. You guys have a question for the chat?
No. They should be asking us questions, right?
Well, you can go back and forth.
I mean, what are we doing here?
We can ask them for their opinion. Like,
okay, I got a question for the chat. How happy does Proctor returning make you feel about the secondary?
Okay, are you happy that Proctor's returning?
There you go.
I can answer that.
And then we can get into some more nuance of him returning and what that all really means. But I think just in general, I think he may be one of those guys that people have developed a side on. They're pro or anti. Proctor,
well, he's got kind of a up and down 2022, I would say. 2019, I would say.
I would say his earliest memories were better, and then his latest stuff is more of his worst. So he's a real hard player to kind of connect to or whatever, even though he's been around forever. He went through some injuries, came back. Still, it seems like a really good kid. I don't know.
I've always had a soft spot for him.
I always wanted him to be that guy. I always thought he was going to be that guy. So I'm like, well, give Proctor playing time. He'll be that guy. I don't know if he is that guy, but I always thought he would be.
I think he kind of is that guy. It's football, and they make mistakes, and pros make mistakes, and he's made some big ones.
But do you think he can play top free safety in the NFL? I mean, like, safety high in the NFL? I don't know. I think he's a ways away.
I do. I think he's
like a Jordan Fuller. He's not close to that.
Well, no, because he's a bigger dude. I would say he's more of a strong safety than a free. I wouldn't like we've seen him as the last line of defense.
Well,
in a game.
I don't want him. I don't want him.
I've seen him
in the box safety on run support either, Joe. I mean, that doesn't make much sense either.
Well,
he doesn't seem like that type of attacking safety. No, just results. It's a result business, right? It's all results.
Exactly.
He's probably I'm sure he's a great kid. I mean, Ohio State, they focus on getting great kids. But I know I'm happy he's back. Depth, and we saw this year how many you might need in a season. We had 8 corners, I think 8 corners getting playing time this year, or combined. You need depth, even if I hope somebody emerges ahead of him, and that shows the talent to start ahead of him. But having him as maybe our 4th safety coming in, rotating in, I feel comfortable about that. I mean, knows the defense, experience, been playing for it's got a lot of games under his belt. That can only help, Hopefully he's got the right.
Are you worried that he keeps Sonny Styles off the field or something like that?
No. I'm saying I'm picturing him as our 4th safety. Our 3 starters, and then Proctor's coming in, giving blows for whoever, and but he's helping teach the defense just as much as he is, trying to earn a spot. That's how I see it. That's how I kind of hope it goes. Hopefully, I'm sure if they agreed to let him come back, they knew he wouldn't be a locker room problem, or a program problem. I would think, because I think that's kind of a mutual decision. Like it's like a player option, but the coach kind of has an influence. Like, we don't have a spot for you, or we'd like you to come back, but we understand if you leave. It seems like if they're willing to say, we'll take you back if you want to stay, then he should be a good fit as far as in the program, off the field, helping young kids and that kind of stuff. So I don't see a minus in it, really, because I don't think that doesn't put any of our key freshmen, like you're talking Sonny Styles, behind him. I don't think that's the case. Am I wrong on that, or are you guys about in the same speed?
I don't know. I mean, I think Proctor's, he's been in that program. He's got the body. It was a new defense this year. I have a thought to that, Sean, too. I don't think he'll necessarily be the 4th guy in there. I think he's staying to be one of the 3, maybe. And compete for that.
I'll tell you what.
I mean, because if not, why don't you just go to Indiana and lock yourself up a spot?
Well, I mean, if it comes to that, where we go through spring ball and health is not an issue, and say Proctor's playing in front of Sonny Styles, I'm gonna think less of Sonny Styles' this potential than I am how much Proctor made a jump. Does that make sense? My initial thought will go to, well, why is Styles not emerging?
Yeah, well, I'm with you. I think it's going to be.
So I mean, I think it'd be more of that. I would be more worried about his development than Proctor emerging.
Who are the other?
Proctor in there. Well, Proctor's not a nickel safety, right? He's not that nickel corner that's going to play in coverage on the slot.
No.
Okay, he's not covering slot. So I mean, and that's generally one of the safety spots. It's more like 3. I think it's more of a 3-corner,
who are we
2 safety
right
defense.
now?
But
safeties.
I mean, there's Ransom.
I would go Ransom at your high, your single high. Jordan Fuller, kind of they call it the adjuster, and I need a big body at the bandit, the strong safety, covering tight ends and run support.
Sonny Styles.
So it's Styles or Proctor for that position. Proctor's been always feast or famine. He's been the big hitter. Remember the knockout shot at the end of the Big Ten championship game where he knocked Mertz out? Right.
freshman.
But then we saw him against Clemson get left and, get his ankles broken by Trevor Lawrence of all people. And then first play of the Notre Dame game, he gets broken off by Lorenzo Styles. So, and that was just this past year. So that's the thing with Proctor, in my opinion. It's what are you going to get? There's no consistency. You know what I'm saying? He started against Notre Dame, didn't start after that.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a reason. I'm not shitting on the guy. I love Proctor. I think he should actually be better and showing us more than he has.
Well, that's where I'm at. That's kind of where I'm at, Joe. That's why I think Styles is going to emerge as the player we think he will be. And I don't think that'll be much of a question if health isn't an issue. It seems like he's picked up the defense because we saw how much playing time he had against Georgia, just that month or so jump from the end of the season. So, but yeah, if Proctor earns one of the 3 spots on the field, I mean, I'll still feel confident that he's there because then he had earned it. But I'll wonder about Court Williams and Cam Martinez development of someone else. That's always a constant thing. It's if one guy's rising, one guy's falling. It seems we need more depth. We need more depth. I hope our defensive back coaches are still hard at work all day. Trying to find more because we need more.
Yeah,
it was proven the last couple of years with injuries.
Yeah, Stephen already in the chat jumping in.
Stephen Cherry?
Appreciate you. Of course. Stephen already coming in strong. He doesn't mince words. And if there's a game coming up, he's going to give you the score like right off the bat. But anyways, tonight he says secondary's been trash for years. Now I'll take a wait and see approach. Stephen, that is so unlike you. You never take a wait and see approach.
Come out guns blazing.
I'll accept it tonight because it's January. He says that. Oh, there we go. Styles should have been on the field this past season.
The past few years.
Coaches love to play that seniority BS, and that's part of the problem. I agree 100%. These coaches, that's been an Ohio State thing for decades.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's not a new thing. Ohio State has always played like the more senior guys, So it's dependability. How if the coaches, if they can't trust you, they won't play you. If you're too inconsistent, coaches won't trust you. So they go with the veteran. He might not make the splash plays you can, but they know he'll be consistent enough to not make the dumb fuck play that you might. I think it's as simple as that. And then then people get in your ear like you're way more talented than that guy. Blah 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 blah. And you are, and everybody kind of knows you are. But what everybody doesn't know outside of that practice field is you screw up like 3 times a practice where it's like mind numbing, and the coach is fucking throwing a clipboard and shit. That's why I'm sure that's the main thing where we see like super talented guys, Michael Hall and stuff like that. You wonder, like, God, why are we not seeing more of that? We don't know what we see in practice, or what they see in practice. Because he might give up a big play or something.
Yeah, you can get on coaches really. You can get on coach's bad side. I mean, but you can get on coach's bad side real quick. Doing that in practice, where they just won't. They'll stop giving you chances, and it takes a while to. You hear about certain guys getting a doghouse or whatever, and they got to get back out.
Yeah.
But
well, I think you cannot use the we're not playing this young guy because he might give up a big play argument anymore. I think
no, you're right. No, you're
after last year.
Yeah. Exactly. I agree with that. I don't think that should ever be an excuse because everybody you put on the goddamn field's giving up.
Yeah, but I mean, how seriously though? How many guys walk into the Woody and are ready to play? Not fucking many.
Of course. Yeah.
And it happens, but it is rare. And it in the secondary, it's damn near impossible. I think you could do it maybe if you were. Um, Michigan has that stud corner this year.
Will
He's a
Johnson.
freshman. Yeah, so I mean, it can be done. I don't think it can be done as a safety, really. Probably there's just too much shit. But if you just want to be a cover corner, I think maybe if you're that good, you can go in and do it. But where
If your
else?
frame is right,
If you're a rush end, I think you could probably do it. If you already got the size, like I think Tumalo probably could have done it, but he didn't. Did he? He played a lot, but did he get any starts as a freshman?
JT.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think
He
started.
he may have started a game that freshman year. Maybe one of those games where
Later in the
maybe
season, it probably
maybe
was.
where
It's
somebody
kind of
was
like him
injured.
and
I mean, I think
is it like
he was filling
I
in maybe, but
think it was like Harrison and him, right?
towards the end of the
Wasn't it?
year, I think. Yeah, but I mean, but that was you're right though. Like a rush end, you shouldn't. Nobody should expect a true freshman, no matter how highly rated they are, except if you're at Texas A&M because they don't have so many of them. But like when you have 4 and 5 stars in every class, and then a high 5-star comes in as a freshman, well, he's not coming into a an empty depth chart. He's coming in with a bunch of talented dudes that already know the system. People shouldn't be so quick to judge a true freshman high recruit if he doesn't immediately step on the field and start dominating.
Yeah.
Unless
Okay.
you're at Texas A&M. Then you
That's where
can
I
all
think
just leave.
it's going to be weird with this NIL money, where the programs that are going to be giving out this money are already big time programs like Ohio State, and you're going to have this quarterback that these kids, however millions of bucks to, and this kid's going to sit there for a couple years. You know, he's not ready, and then does that shine wear off? It's like, well, we haven't even seen this kid, and then you get another kid behind him that be interesting. See how all that
Yeah.
plays out.
Right.
And at that point, some of these kids are like, "Hey, I got my $3 million. I don't need to play.
Yeah.
I get to be the backup
Well,
quarterback.
yeah.
3 mil.
That opens up another can of worms of, at some point, does the NIL money for a particular player become more than they would get if they entered into the draft? Like say a late round quarterback, for example, that's starting for a college team, a Power 5 team, maybe an SEC team like an Ole Miss or whatever. Maybe he's
versus
making
a 6th-round pick, Joe. Versus like being a 6th-round pick. Is that what you're saying?
no. I'm saying he would be like a late first or second, and
Oh,
it's worth him to come back because that NIL money has increased so much that it's almost mirroring an
well,
NFL contract. I know we're a long ways from that, but that is something you can think about down the road where a guy is and it could be any school. I was just picking out a lower level SEC school for the hell of it because the quarterback might not be a top 10 pick. He
yeah.
might be end of the first round,
I could
and
see it
then
happen
But I tell you what, I mean,
if it's a
there's
team
numbers
that
out there to kind of see.
if the guy's going to make a couple $1 million for the year to come back 1 year, and I think you'd have to have a little extra. You'd have to have a team that you think can compete to maybe win your division, maybe make a college football playoff. I don't think you're going to do it with just like, okay, I'm going to be on this shitty team again, and make a couple $1 million.
Mhm.
I think there'd have to be something else in it for you. A
Okay.
shot at something.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so middle of 1st-round picks. I mean, that's all kind of
Middle of first round,
the
no way,
money.
they're gone. Middle of first
The,
round, I'm with Def. I think if you first or second, I think you're gone.
yeah, okay, because I was gonna say even 2nd-round picks, you're looking at like 4 to 5 million guaranteed. Maybe 3 million on signing bonus, at least for a 2nd-round pick. So, and what's the top? What did Bryce Young? You think, relatively relatively keeping the numbers kind of small. Bryce Young made maybe 3-4 million this year with the Dr. Pepper and everything else. Do you think, or do you think he made more than that? I mean, what do you think he was? I mean, I know there's a bunch of numbers reported, but I'm trying to be conservative on what he really might have.
Let's
made.
use that Jaden Rashada contract as a comparison. So
13 million,
12. I would say for a top level quarterback, I would say 12 million for 4 years.
CJ Stroud didn't make 12 million though at Ohio State. Did he?
Oh, he's only there 3 years. No.
Oh, okay, but okay, so 12 for 4. So you look at like 3 million a year.
Nah, he didn't make 9 either.
No. I don't, because the NIL money didn't kick in until later. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Started.
So the 12 million. If you
I bet you CJ made 5 or 6.
But okay, but
all the endorsements, the car, you got to factor in a car lease, even though it's not monetary like cash money. It's still
you got $140,000 car.
Probably a place to live.
Yeah,
$1 million is a lot more than $140,000 car. And you're talking 5-6 million. I don't know, where'd he get it? I mean, I hope he did, but if he did, I would
JSN had a big payday. Let me look it up.
The number I heard on JSN was 2.1 million. 2.1 million was JSN. What I heard. Damn. I think that was reported on 97.1.
Okay.
Not playing.
For not playing his last year. I mean, they're the same age.
Anyway, but it's hard to say that. I think we're years away as far as the salary structure of the NFL, because their cap is going up every year too. You know what I mean? Those second round picks are making more every year. And I don't know if the NIL will move so rapidly ahead of them to get those numbers close to where that would be like someone's ultimate decision is, well, the money's equal. I think I'll just stay at school because I got a girl and I like the weather and whatever. I think we're a long ways away of that money being, relatively, similar. I think we're years away. I don't think it'll ever. The current system won't last, and before that becomes like equal pay levels. Right. I don't think. I think they'll have. I think they'll end up changing anything or making these contracts. Sign the kid to the contract for the NIL. So then it ties him. If you do stay a 4th year, you make this. If you stay a 5th year, or if you have a 5th year, it's this. And then it gets kids, staying in and playing those bowl games that everybody's sitting out now. But I mean, that's what it'll take. It'll take contracts. It'll take those type of contracts for that.
On3 does a valuation system on their site.
I don't know how they do it. I've seen it. I don't know how they figure all that out. Right. I don't know.
Let me explain. So like CJ is ranked number 4 in college football in NIL ranking, like valuation, at 2.9 million annual.
Okay. 3. Okay, so 9 for 3 years.
He's 4th in the country.
Yeah.
Arch Manning 3.7, Bryce Young 3.5, Caleb Williams 3.2, then CJ, then Bijan, Dion's kid, then Marvin Harrison Jr. at 1.6. So you can see how that's per year too. That's not, over a 3 or 4 year career. These are the estimations that these guys are worth. What is reality, I can't say, but I don't want to spend all night on NIL because I can hear people turning off their computers and phones right now.
And it's something we don't know the facts on. We don't know the numbers because they're not publicized. They don't have to be. So
there never will be, people's contracts publicized. Excuse me. Let's talk about roster updates for the Buckeyes. Let me give you, first of all, right off the top, I think we need to give CJ Stroud an official thank you from the Buckeye Cast for his years of service. Do you guys have any words you would like to say? This is not a eulogy, more of a thank you.
Sure. I mean, I will. I'll go ahead and say no one is harder on CJ than me. And again, total redemption. And I think he's got the tools to go out there and be successful at the next level. I think he's got the head, he's got the ability. Um, I think that last game he needs to build off that, and be willing to um, either stay in the pocket and take a hit, or pull it down and run and make a decision and help your team any way you can. And proved he can do it. There's just maybe too little, too late.
Yeah. Yes. Final thoughts on CJ Stroud?
Not a whole lot, but I mean,
Yeah.
he's from all reports, from what everybody, what everything you see from him, he's a great kid. Really got his kind of. It seems like he prioritizes the right things, and he's represented the school excellently. So I could definitely appreciate that, and not being a constant negative press magnet to the program.
Yeah, quality,
And
dude.
hopefully, I mean, I think good luck in the NFL.
Okay.
Too bad we didn't have more Big Ten titles or wins over Michigan or playoff wins. But good luck.
All right. So let's talk about the rest of the roster updates. I'm going to go through this kind of fast, so I'll stop after each section. We're going to do transfer portal departures. Safety Jalen Johnson is headed to Memphis. Linebacker Taraja Mitchell headed to Florida. Safety Jansen Dunn headed to Kentucky. Long snapper Mason Arnold headed to Michigan State. Defensive end Javante Jean-Baptiste headed to Notre Dame. And corner J.K. Johnson headed to LSU. Any quick takes?
Yeah, we have defensive backs that are leaving our program and going to SEC programs.
Well, J.K. Johnson's high school coach took I believe, an analyst job with LSU with Brian Kelly. So I think that's why he's going there. But I get your point.
Jansen it's not a matter of we didn't guess wrong on talent. That's what I'm getting.
No.
That's what I'm getting at.
But Jansen Dunn's from Cincinnati. He's going to Kentucky. Sure. So
and all of it makes sense. Taraj is going back to Florida. I mean, he's from Jacksonville.
No, he's from DMV.
Oh, he's from Virginia. That's right. He's from Virginia area. Oh. That's right. I had him mixed up with the other dude a couple years ago from Jacksonville. Okay. Anyways, but so it's not a matter of we missed on talent. We missed something. We missed something there because there's other high schools, SEC schools, Big Ten schools, and Notre Dame, of course. So I throw them even with us. It's not like our kids are going down to MAC schools because they couldn't play at this level or nothing. Those are all big time schools that our guys are leaving and going to. Losing a corner that had playing time with us, going to LSU. I'll be interested to see what he looks like at LSU next year.
Yeah, J.K. Johnson had 400 snaps this year.
Yeah, played a lot.
Yeah. That's the second most on the team, even with Cam
Really
Brown.
surprised me when he went in the portal because we never heard anything about issues or rumors or anything. But I'll be interested to see what
he's been jumped in the too deep. That's the only reason you leave, really. But Sean, any quick takes on these 6 guys?
I don't know. That one's disturbing to me because I don't know. He got jumped into too deep. You got that many snaps, and now you're telling me with everybody gone.
And Hancock's was injured all year. How did he jump?
I don't know how he would not be in the too deep on either side, if not a starter. So again, I think maybe that's more in line with what you were saying and some different relationships or whatever. But man, I hope the heck you're right though. And I hope we do have a bunch of dudes that are better than him because that one hurts. Baptiste to Notre Dame, that one stings a little bit. I imagine that that's a seasoned vet that goes hard. He will bring it when they play us. So
yeah.
That got a little more interesting. Outside of that, no, wish them all well. And you say that, hey, yeah, they're going to SEC teams, but like Dunn, I mean, I think obviously Dunn, I mean, he wasn't going to play here. So, I mean, it's not that anything went wrong there necessarily. It's just like there's too many other dudes. But I
Well,
think you
okay,
know
so
that.
so
I think you know that going into Ohio State, though, that hey, I can go here and go up against the best dudes in the country, and
Mhm.
and get that strength and conditioning, get that coaching, and then you know transfer with a couple years left and go make an impact somewhere with that
okay, so
with
Stephen Cherry.
That Ohio State cred.
I agree. Stephen Cherry just piling on. Says too bad coaches can't enter the portal. In parentheses, Tim Walton. Tim Walton's been on a fucking milk carton for well over a week now. Not sure what's going on because the dead period ends in 8 days. So January 30th is the end of the dead period for recruiting. I mean, the beginning of the dead period, end of the open contact period. So not sure what he's doing. I haven't seen him with a recruit since last Friday. I'm talking 9 days ago.
well, I mean, he could be doing a lot of work, just not just being reported. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's I mean, we can't
possibly.
automatically assume he's not doing his job. We're literally 1,000 miles away.
I'm
So
wondering if there's a coaching change and he's been pulled off the road. Is my point.
Who's Heartline met with in the last 9 days?
I
well,
can't give it a list. I
that's
can find
that's
it
the thing. I mean,
eventually.
we don't know exactly what he's been doing or what he's been working on. You know, maybe this is 1 week vacation. I doubt it because of the timing. That
Yeah,
this would be a vacation time for any coaches, but
no,
they usually line that up with the dead period, I would assume. But dude, he came highly respected. Um, we we can't immediately turn on him yet. I'm not saying we can't. I'm just saying we shouldn't yet.
oh wow.
Uh,
Uh,
we got two really good freshman corners coming in that I'm excited about both of them. So,
yeah.
but these guys, but like these guys, J.K. Johnson, Jansen Dunn, these guys, we these are who we settled on in classes before. We don't need it. We need to stop settling for these. I don't know. They're not even lower level. They're just high 4 stars. I mean, there's not like lower level corners and stuff, but or in DBs, but we're not
Yeah,
we're
no,
not
I
getting any of
mean
them. We're not getting enough
J.K.
guys to stick.
Johnson was you know third or fourth corner in the class.
Yeah.
If I remember
Well,
right.
I
I,
don't
I
want to get stuck on these. I mean, I'm trying to move through these roster updates. I don't want to get stuck on
yeah. Go
like
ahead.
what's happening elsewhere. So transfer portal additions, guys that are coming in. By the way, I need to clarify something I just learned recruiting wise. We're going to get into some quick recruiting later, but Heartline was not on the visit to Jaden Davis on Friday. It was only Corey Dennis and Ryan Day meeting with the Davis family. So just wanted to put that out there for whatever it might mean. We'll come back to
Those are the
that.
two that have the prior relationship with Jaden,
Sure.
so that makes
But
sense. Though.
It was understood earlier in the week that the Buckeyes were putting the full court press on Jaden Davis. So anyway, doesn't matter. Portal additions, guys coming in out of the portal, boogieing their way onto campus. Long snapper, Sean, your favorite position. John Furlman from Arizona State, one of my favorite colleges. Kicker, Casey Magyar from Kent State. Safety, Jihad Carter from Syracuse. Quarterback, Tristan Gebbia from Oregon State. And offensive lineman, Victor Cutler, my guy, Vic, lay back, stay back, way back in the cut from Louisiana Monroe. Quick takes on any of those five gentlemen.
Joe, yes, Jahai Carter should see playing time. I don't think I think they brought in a safety that they expect to play. I don't like a Tanner McAllister. I don't think that's a depth piece. They expect him to compete for playing time. Super excited about a tackle, Vic Cut. Hopefully, I think he's gonna have a shot to start. So hopefully he can be like a Jonah Jackson, fill in 2 years eligibility. That's huge. The rest of them, I don't know. I mean, the quarterback he's depth. He's been around a while. A long snapper. I didn't know there was such a market with long snappers coming and going. Like we had one transfer out and then we had one transfer in. Why didn't he just stay? I don't understand.
Probably because he missed 2 fake punt calls in very
Oh,
key moments of 2 of the biggest games of the season.
Well, you think they gave him the boot, maybe? But
yeah, I think he was showing.
It seems like if you just snap the ball the way they want you to, there's nothing else to do. I mean, like you can't get more playing time. You know what I mean?
That 99% of the time that's the case, but I'm not going to get into long snapper. Like
no, exactly. We got
logistics.
Another kicker. We got a long snapper. Yeah, whatever. But
he missed the fake punt call against Michigan. That probably would have been a first down, but I'm not going to go through that again.
Right.
No,
right.
The quarterback thing is actually huge because, again, I'm not convinced that one of our guys doesn't transfer out post spring. So to have someone at least,
it's an option. Always possible.
A warm body behind that. To me, that's huge get. O-line as well, good.
They're saying
probably turns into a starter.
Cutler's probably going to be. The plan is that he's going to be penciled in at center. So does that mean he can jump in and start this year? That's where we're going to wait and see things play out. Because Matt Jones was the top center in the country when he came in.
Right.
But they might want to keep him. They might want to keep him at guard, and they might think that if we, he's good. He can be good at both, but we think he can be better at guard. Let's bring a guy in that can play center because they're expecting a graduate transfer. He's a graduate transfer. Am I right, Vic?
I think so. Yeah, he has 2 years of eligibility,
but 2 years.
He's definitely not going to play tackle at 6'2" or 6'3".
Oh, no.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, I didn't realize he was only 6'3". But he did have good stats at Louisiana Monroe. I would assume, just from his pedigree, I would assume though they're planning on him as a starting spot. I don't know if he was coming in as more of a depth, especially with 3 spots to be filled on the line. I would expect him, obviously staying healthy. We should expect him to be a part of that mix, that 5 or number 6 guy at the least.
Sorry, Sean.
Jihad Carter.
Yeah, go. Yep. Hurry.
No, Jihad Carter. He should play.
Did you?
No. Did they have what?
Yeah, Jihad Carter is very versatile. They used him mostly in the slot, but he played multiple safety positions at Syracuse. So this guy's a little bigger, though. If he does play a slot, he's like 6'2", where McAllister was like 5'11".
He's like a nickel corner, right?
But yeah, I think he might be a little bigger to go, too big to go against a slot receiver. It's going to be like we saw against Georgia, a guy that runs a 10-8, 100. You probably don't want a 6'2", 200-pound corner on him, or safety, however you want to label him. So NFL early departures, Ronnie Hickman goes, JSN goes, Luke Whippler goes. Both tackles, Paris Johnson Jr. and DeJuan Jones are gone. And, of course, quarterback C.J. Stroud. Any surprises there for you guys?
What's his name on the O-line?
Whippler?
Yeah.
I agree. I don't think anybody was expecting him to go.
I wonder what his evaluation was. He got a first or second, obviously not a first round, but was he a top 2 or 3 center? Maybe that's
I think so, Joe. I feel like you tweeted us something where his PFF rankings on something were among the best in the nation.
Yeah.
So they said maybe your top 3 at your position, and that may mean 3rd or 4th round because it's center. But maybe it's like,
Yeah,
well, if I'm gonna be with,
but
I'm guaranteed I should be within the four. He's, I don't know. It seems
that depends, Jeff. That depends on who else is coming out at that position.
yeah, right.
They got him ranked number 4 on PFF top 10 interior offensive lineman. He
Wow.
graded
Okay.
He graded out at an 82.4.
Maybe maybe NFL scouts are just they're liking what they see, and for the NFL game they're thinking, this guy's, we can work him at guard and center, blah blah blah.
Yeah, they
So
say
maybe he got
day
a good enough, maybe he got a positive enough feedback. I didn't realize he was ranked that far ahead of when in regards to all interior linemen.
Maybe they looked at that Georgia tape.
Yeah, he neutralized Jalen Carter, him and the other guys too, but they got him an initial round projection of late day 2. So I don't know if a center is going to do much better than that, generally speaking.
Right.
So let's talk about announced returners, guys with eligibility remaining that were kind of on the fence. We got linebacker Tommy Eichenberg, linebacker Steele Chambers coming back, running back Mayan Williams, tight end Cade Stover, guard Matthew Jones, safety Lathan Ransom, wide receiver running back / gunner / kick returner Xavier Johnson / whatever. Xavier Johnson coming back, and safety Josh Proctor announced late Friday. He is indeed coming back to give us some more safety depth there. Quick take on those guys.
I mean, just with those guys that you read off, just coming back that could have left, we're absolutely loaded at the skill positions. I mean, look at someone like Mayan Williams, and I don't know where mine would have projected, but if Trey's 100% and Pryor and Hayden, where does and mine was a stud for us. Mine could find himself third on that depth chart real quick. But all the other X-Man is going to, that's just a safety valve. Like, okay, this guy can do anything on offense. You want him to be Wildcat quarterback? Fine. You want him to, be the running back? Fine. You want him to be the slot? Fine. Whatever you need that guy to do. I'm surprised they haven't plugged him in at safety yet. The guy does everything. But just all that talent. Stover coming back, to me, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's real huge. I mean, I think he should be a dominant tight end and position himself. He certainly had some things to clean up, right? But he flashed some really cool shit. So
yeah, I think I would recommend he stop hurdling guys and landing on his back. It's bad for your back. Get it?
I don't think Tommy can be overtaken. I think Tommy will be the starter. But Steele coming back, I could see Steele getting jumped by somebody, one of the up and comers. I don't know. But I mean, he's so solid too. Like I said, the thing with Steele to me is Steele looks amazing, and then I don't see him for 2 games. And then he looks amazing. He'll
flash.
I don't know.
Yeah. So tight end, I talked about this in the Daily Blitz this week about building depth, and tight end was one of my positions of concern because we have Cade Stover coming back, yes, and he had over 700 snaps on the year. But Mitch Rossi's gone. He had 239. After that, it just falls off the fucking table. G. Scott Jr. is next with 140. And after that, Sam Hart was 17, Bennett Christian 9, Joe Royer 7. I mean, that's it. We got to build depth there. Keenan Bailey.
Joe Royer is going to be healthy next year. That dude dealt with a lot of stuff off the field as well. And so little lacking depth, but hopefully G. Scott can be healthy he had a lot of injuries throughout the year. Seemed like little things that would come up, but it was always something. Even through spring ball and early training camp. But we need another big blocking tight end. Somebody's going to need to emerge there. Jelani Thurman, is he early enrollee or is he coming in summer?
He's in. Yeah, he's in.
He's in now. Okay, that's
Got
going to
his
be huge.
NIL deal and everything. Just ask Brian Schottenstein.
Well, getting him in.
Friend of the program.
Shout out to Brian. Getting him through this winter. Working on his body, getting him back, his body acclimated. To be and to see if he's mentally keeping up with that pace. He's highly touted. He's not much of he's more of a pass catching tight end as well. So do we have another? I don't know. Is Bennett Christian more of the big like smash tight end? Luke Farrell, athletic enough to still catch the ball, but more of a blocking tight end, or is he more of that G. Scott mold?
Yeah. That's it. I mean, I think you got to be able to do everything as an Ohio State tight end. That's the way the pattern has always been. You've never seen a Jelani Thurman that is more athletic. I mean, even they took Jeremy Ruckert and turned him from a split out, more of a receiver in high school, turned him into a regular inline tight end.
And got him drafted in the 3rd round.
Exactly. So they put the weight on him, taught him how to block, all that. So I would say that's the pattern that Ohio State tight ends will follow.
Well, what does G. Scott need to do? I mean, this kid came out as being a top 100 wide receiver, made the switch to tight end, have super high on this dude. Like, oh my gosh, he's going to be unstoppable. Right. But he still didn't got that weight. I mean, what's he need? Another 20 pounds, probably.
He's probably 230. He doesn't look overly big out there. He doesn't look imposing at all at that position.
I'd say he's 235, maybe.
Yeah, which is a really big receiver, but in today's football, that's the tight ends just as athletic as him are 260 and 250.
They got him 6'3", 239 on the Ohio State media guide.
Yeah, that's a below average for a pass catching tight end. It is.
Yeah, you want 6'5", 250, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, a
prototype.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's those prototypes. I mean, you'd see them at Notre Dame. They fucking print them every year. Michael Mayer. He's just a long line of Zach Ertz and the rest of those guys. Right. I don't know. I mean, is he big enough? Is he going to improve enough as a blocker that he can see the field? Because 80% of the time, that's what they're going to ask him to do.
Yeah.
It seems like he's almost that tweener. Like it was almost too big and not athletic enough to play receiver in our offense.
Mm-hmm.
But there was no way he had the frame to get to where we need our NFL tight ends to be. It kind of in between seems. Let's see if he plays outside linebacker.
Does someone like that transfer out that was such a highly rated recruit? I mean, he could go to some other school and instantly be there. Shit, he could go Dave Boston style, split him back out.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, look how what was his name for Florida? 1st round pick, Pitts. You know what I mean? But Pitts, that dude is more of an athletic marvel. With his size and length and everything. I always thought I thought G. Scott could be an option for that transfer portal because he's had some issues and there's been some stuff. And coming from Seattle, he's all the way across the country.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to see if he stays healthy enough. I think he can improve. He can be as impressive as a pass catcher to find the spot in the offense. Put him in that H back like fucking what's his name that just left? My mind's blanking on our second tight end, Rossi. Put him in more of that position.
Yeah, but Rossi was
6'3",
a hammer.
6'3", 235. That's Eddie George, 6'3",
But
235.
yeah, he didn't have he didn't have the receiving chops that Kate Stover has or Walker. He has the blocking ability, but he's more of a fullback, really.
Yeah, he was.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We have the pass catching ability with Scott. Let's see if we can. Maybe he can he develop, or does he have the nose and the heart for the fullback type, lead, to take? Because we don't have that guy. We don't have a Mitch Rossi on the roster right now, do we? The guy that fills that role.
Nope.
Maybe G. Scott's the best option if he can show that he wants to do it. He's got to want to do it. You can't just tell somebody, "I need you to block." If they don't want to do it, it's not going to work.
Stephen Cherry coming in with a few comments I wanted to throw out here in the chat. Devin Brown will be the starter. Stephen, that's what we're looking for, Stephen. That's the Stephen Cherry we know and love, is a guy that makes bold statements like months in advance.
That's because Steve. That's because he's right.
Cheers, Stevens. Cheers.
No, he's right.
I'm going to mark this down, actually. I'm going to put this in a document.
I'm with you, Stephen.
Oh, you're calling it too, Sean?
Shit.
I am.
Well, okay. So, with it being McCord's third year in the program, he's definitely going to leave, right? If he loses the job and come out of spring.
Well, that's not an option.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? I mean, like McCord.
Nobody's going to announce a starter in freaking spring.
Well,
that's dumb.
What do you mean?
That was my next question. It was my next question, Joe.
What?
Would they?
He hurt his hand. He broke his hand.
No.
Yeah. Yes. Burrow broke his hand.
Urban Meyer had at the spring game. He said that was going to decide it between Burrow and Haskins. I was at that spring game. Burrow was the best looking guy in that spring game, and he went with Haskins. And Burrow took off to LSU before the season started. After the spring game, so it can happen. And I think Burrow had a lot of respect for Meyer to at least do that and not keep him sitting there and screwing him like, oh yeah, we're going to keep this competition going.
The year prior,
that's how that went down. Yeah. And so Haskins got to come in, but Haskins only got to come in because Joey B had broke his hand.
Right. That sounds more like the timeline. But
yeah, and then it was open competition, and
so obviously they would try to play this out through the fall to try to hold both guys on, but that still doesn't guarantee that if McCord thinks that Brown is emerging, he might still jump after spring. If he thinks he's going to lose a job, he's going to leave because he's going to have to, because he needs to play, right? So I'm not. I mean, we don't know because we don't know. We haven't seen Devin Brown perform. So I'm not making any guesses on a guy that's going to win a spot ahead of a guy who's as highly touted, if not higher. That's a year longer in the program, and I've never seen the guy play. I'm not going to go out and say Devin Brown's winning the job. On what?
I know it's bold. That's what we do here, and I love.
You're flipping a coin, though. I mean, you're just flipping a coin, bro. Like, I'm just. You can say it, I guess. I just don't. I guess I don't want to be looking really wrong later.
Yeah. I'm marking this shit down right now.
I ain't worried about it. I think, I think that Devin Brown's going to be a different. I think that Devin Brown's a different dude, maybe.
All right. Okay. All right. Or riddle me this, Sean. Riddle me this. Where does Kyle McCord start next year, or where does Kyle McCord play college football next fall? If looking that same goddamn crystal ball, just shift it over.
When I say it's going to be Devin Brown, I'm like 51% on that. 49.
Here we go.
Well, where's your 49% option?
I don't know. I can't even picture how it plays out. Maybe he stays.
Drew Allen's going to be at Penn State. Penn State's not going to want him.
Maybe he stays through the year. Takes a red shirt even. I don't know. And has 3 years left to go play somewhere else. I don't know.
All right, back it up. Devin Brown has already redshirted. He redshirted this past season, so can't use that again. Again, Ryan Day is not going to name a starter after spring. That is the worst thing you can do. You're basically telling guys to transfer out at the quarterback position. You wait and you say, we're going to make our decision in fall camp. You make the decision maybe halfway through fall camp so that the actual starter, probably Kyle McCord, because of seniority, has 2 weeks of working, knowing he's the starter going into week 1. And if Devin Brown wants to enter the portal, if Devin Brown wants to enter the portal at that point, go ahead, but you're not going to you cannot go to another team until the season's over. So what are you doing?
But do you think what builds up in players, Jeff kind of alluded to earlier, people in the year, I'm better than this and that, that players could resent the coach doing that to them, like hanging them out like this. Like, hey, coach, you're fucking with my future here. And you're going to keep me hanging on like this. I don't got respect for that,
Well, hey, it's not about being disrespected. It's about maybe it's a really tough competition. Both guys, like one guy has a good day one day.
If that's the case, that's the case.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the case scenario, Sean. I think the relationship that maybe a Ryan Day would have with those two quarterbacks, you would like to think that it would be handled in a way that wouldn't leave one of the kids handled. Yeah, I mean, I think because I think Day it really comes at it from the right angle of obviously putting Ohio State football first and foremost, but also looking at both these, both the kids as a whole. I'm sure he cares, a lot about them personally, and he's not gonna, but he's gonna do what's right for his job, obviously. And I think that's going to be communicated properly. I think it's all going to. I mean, I think it's probably all laid out to those guys. They have meetings with the offensive staff and coach,
but shit happens.
Both up in the same meeting and saying, you guys are gonna go at it. We're gonna go through spring. They probably even laid out maybe like a type of timeline for them, of when they might already know, like hopefully when the decision is supposed to be made, and it's 2 weeks into fall camp or whatever. So yeah, but shit happens. I trust that Ryan Day is going to handle it properly, where you're not going to get a guy going off on Twitter after he leaves and talking shit and trying to like dirty the waters. I would think Ryan Day, I would expect him to handle it properly so it never gets to that. However it turns out, you know what I mean? I think these kids are just going to look at, one of them's going to have to leave to get playing time to try to make a name for himself.
My point is these situations arise. And they arise with us with the Burrow Haskins. They arise with Michigan, with their McCarthy and whoever that guy was that played for him last year.
I was on McNamara.
Yeah, they're Irishmen. Yeah,
and it's
see, Harbaugh let that drag into the season. That was handled the worst possible way.
And they had a great season, though. It was handled. It
could have blown up in his face, though.
It wasn't handled the right way to any of us outside, looking into the program.
Actually,
they had a great season, though. I mean, right? I mean, I think he handled it the right way that he needed to for that program, because they got what they needed. Obviously
the loss basically came to Michigan State that year when they brought in JJ on their fancy goal line shit, getting cute, and he'd fumble it and stuff. If JJ was starting all of last year, which his ceiling's a lot higher than McNamara's, I believe. Mm-hmm. I think there's some more growing pains with that kid. You see how he likes to throw those pick sixes and shit.
Yeah.
I think if he's the starter last year, he doesn't. Maybe he's better this year, but I don't think they beat us. I don't think they go to the playoff last year if he's their guy last year. I think it took that more steady guy that wasn't going to wow you, but he, just that field manager.
Yeah.
But I mean, it happens where the younger guy coming up is, and the fans and everybody, they're all clamoring for it, and now it's going to be. I think that noise is going to get even louder because, hey man, we got fucking $5 million on this dude. I want to see this motherfucker throw a football.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have a whole year now. Now McCarthy's going to have a whole year of Heisman talk. He's going to be the talk of that man coming back. It's supposed to be one of the best in college football, whatever, top ranked team. The known starter coming back. So he's gonna have a whole different type of offseason, a whole lot of different talk about him. Before it was all just potential. This got the young kid. Hopefully they give him a look. But now he's proven he's the dude. So what's his mind frame? How does he handle that type of change in perspective or whatever? That's what makes quarterbacks, right? A lot of quarterbacks, once they get to that, their head ain't right on right, and they fucking lose. They worry about their dad hitting on their girlfriend. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, you never know.
Little dicey situation there in the McCarthy household.
Videos are videos, but man, that looks bad.
Yep. All right. So Stephen Cherry also mentioned that Evan Pryor is going to take carries from somebody. I agree with that. He probably will.
I hope he's healthy. I hope he comes back as good as he was. I hope
it's going to take some time, but he also said that we wasted Rutgers' talent. I agree. He said McCord will transfer to Penn State or Pitt.
He's not going to Penn State. Drew Aller's there.
He's very specific. Again, I'm marking all this shit down. I need a document just for Steven's takes.
McCord could. You could see McCord I could see McCord in Alabama or Tennessee. But I don't know. But Tennessee just bought a $13 million quarterback, right? This kid's supposed to be the next one. We'll see. We'll see if his $13 million starts cashing.
Yeah. So
all these $13 million deals.
Yeah. We got a few recruiting minor updates. Tomorrow on the Daily Buckeye Blitz, I have a full recruiting episode for you. There was a bunch of visitors in Columbus for the basketball game this weekend. Mostly younger guys like juniors, guys that are getting ready to go into their senior year later this fall. Well, there's also a 2025 couple of guys. But I want to talk about this guy, Georgia 4-star 2024 linebacker, Sammy Brown. This guy is a peach. Look at this guy. Now that's a linebacker right there, right?
4-star linebacker from Georgia.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, like it doesn't even matter if he says it would take my blood. I'll be there. I promise in 2 years. We still got to hold off Georgia for the next 2 years.
The mullet's the best, though. He's the nation's top inside linebacker from Jefferson High School in Georgia. Yeah, I got a couple quotes here from him.
He's got a mullet? I'm not sure Georgia would want it.
Yeah, check it out. He's got a nice man perm going too on top of the mullet. But anyways, he said, right now I have 6 teams I'm focused on: Georgia, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Clemson.
Is that all?
Yeah. So at least it's just
those guys.
I hate seeing these guys with 50. They cut down their list to 15,
Yeah, the top 12s. I love the top 12, top 16s. Come on.
So another quote here from Sammy. Buckeyes are another college football team with a great culture. Coach Ryan Day, he's done a great job. Coach Jim Knowles, he's one of the best linebacker coaches out there. He says Coach Knowles is an old-timey coach. Coaches now got sneakers and sweatpants on. He has blue jeans, a nice shirt, and loafers on. Nice shoes. He's nice, but he will get on your butt if needed. He also said, I will probably commit in early July after I take all my official visits. So, I'm just about 6 months away from him making a decision.
I hope we're in. But was Georgia one of those teams? I know Clemson.
Yeah, yeah.
The picture, but Georgia. So Georgia's in there. Is Bama in there? I know Notre
No.
Dame wasn't okay.
Georgia, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Clemson.
But Saban saying, I got 6 months, right?
Yeah.
You said I have 6 months, right? Okay. Bama might come in there at some point. You know how that goes. Caden Proctor, Caleb Downs, dudes. They just Bama's going to be there. I mean, we need them. We need the top linebackers in the country. We should have a top 10 linebacker in the country every year. One of the top 10.
Two.
Or I mean, but I mean, I understand not every team's going to get 2 in the top 10, but teams that get a top 10 linebacker should be us, Bama, Georgia, Auburn, fucking Clemson, whoever
I don't
else.
know. The kid scares me a little bit. Southern kid.
Sure he is, yeah.
Last one we did like that didn't turn out so well.
Yeah.
And nothing he said should really give us any more hope than any other team should have. He had to say something nice about everybody that they asked him about, I'm sure.
Of course. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think I think we're in it. We're in it, but I don't know. It doesn't sound like there should be any super confidence being gained. But we're in it. Like, we should be with any top kid in the country. We're gonna get in the room with a lot of kids, if not all kids, except maybe ones from the South that just literally just wanting checks. Other than that, we should be able to get in the room with anyone. So it means nothing, but
right. I was just updating. So also, Buckeyes have offered Alabama commit 2024 commit quarterback Julian Sayin, 6'1", 180, out of Carlsbad, California. Number 2 ranked quarterback in the country for the 2024 class, committed to Alabama in early November. Also was interested in Georgia, but he did say that Ryan Day's program is an elite option for quarterbacks. They're one of the elite programs with a level of quarterback play that they bring in and showcase on Saturdays. So obviously the Buckeyes believe that they don't care who a kid is committed to. They're gonna start a conversation with them and see where it goes.
It is cool that we have admitted that, like, the gloves are completely off. Like, Bama, we're gonna go after your recruits because we know you fuckers are coming after ours. For years, everybody else has done it, and Ohio State's just openly saying, we'll make it public that we are pursuing your verbal commitment. It should. I mean, why not? I mean, I'm surprised that Bama 2 cycles, for another cycle is going with a quarterback of that small stature. I heard today that Bryce Young at one point last season was under 170 pounds, but still projected as the number 1 pick. So, but 6'1", 180.
Yeah,
you're right. That's a smaller dude. I mean, that's not that drop back pocket passer that we tend to like, But he's got to be more of an RPO, I would imagine. At that size, I would hope he was more of an athletic running quarterback. But if he's a pocket passer at that size, then you're like, I don't know.
Yeah. Right. Sean, what do you think of this guy, Jaden Davis? Right now, he's crystal balled to Michigan, 6 foot, 192 out of North Carolina. He is a composite 5-star. Buckeyes were in on him early, and then they took.
I think they would have had him early. They would have had him early. I think if Raiola wouldn't have, kind of showed up.
Sean, what do you think?
This a quarterback that we're in on?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's camped with Ohio State. I mean, they've had him on the radar since he was probably 15.
So, like we mentioned earlier, Ryan Day and Corey Dennis were just in his home Friday to visit him and the family, trying to, I guess, rekindle old love. What do you think?
I wonder what those conversations like. How awkward is it when Jaden Davis can say, "Yeah, I thought we were really cool, coach," and then Raiola said he was interested. Then I didn't hear from y'all. and now Rayola said he's going somewhere else, and now I hear from y'all. I mean,
That's
is
the
it
way
kind of like that?
recruiting
I mean,
goes.
how awkward, when you're in home, like, because the kid can put you on the spot because the kid's got all the leverage. So if he feels comfortable enough, if he feels spurned, I wonder how awkward, how do you handle that in home interaction face to face with a kid that's calling you out, kind of like, obviously you obviously made me plan B, but now I'm your plan A. Kind of explain yourself type thing. I wonder that dynamic kind of interests me to know the inner takings of that.
What do you think,
I'd
Sean?
love to be a fly on the wall.
Well, I mean, what you've got, if Michigan, you got McCarthy certainly for this next year, and then I would guess he goes pro, pretty sure.
Expecting it, right?
So it seems like there's a spot at Michigan after next year, that maybe a kid could come in. Again, I forget that kid's name that's up here. That's going to be a top 10 kid, probably the best quarterback out of Belleville.
Dante Moore.
No, that's the kid out of King.
Okay.
This kid's a 2025, and I think he looks better than all of them. That's going to be a huge push. I think Ohio State, I think everybody's already offered this kid, but
Bryce
one back-to-back
Underwood.
state champ. Underwood, yeah. This kid looks for real.
Bryce Underwood, is that right? Is that what you said, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frank's nephew.
There you go. Yeah. So Buckeyes are, I like that the Buckeyes are just going after dudes and not giving a shit, like you mentioned, Jeff. Other guys we want to talk about. I got to show you this video. I'm antsy to show you this guy. Jeremiah Smith, current Buckeye 5-star receiver out of Shamanabadana Prep.
That's gonna be a ride. That's gonna be a roller coaster too with the South Florida kids. So hang on tight for that one over the next year.
Right, but check this shit out. This guy, I got video of him. I wanted to share.
He's elite. He is elite, man. Ohio State should be just as excited about him as the other names that have been coming in.
Yeah.
Here we go. We go widescreen here. Jesus Christ.
Roasted. Boom, roasted. Now
it froze up a little bit.
Catch.
It was a little blocky for me, but you can tell how quick he gets separation, like how quick he makes that he just makes the distance between him and that DB instantly.
Yeah, check out this.
Now he did he play with that same 7-on-7 team with Carnell and those guys?
Was he South Florida Express?
South Florida Express, right? Yeah, with Innes and Tate.
Yeah. All right, check this out.
We got all of it. We just went to this. The Heartline just went to the 7-on-7 tournament. It's like, I'll take all those receivers. that win it. That team that won. I want those guys. Just give me those 4. Yeah, there's 3, 4. How many of them are there? 5. We'll take 5. Yeah, we do 5.
All right. Ready? Check out this catch, man. This is nuts. Oh, this is not the one. Damn it. These guys are noisy. Let me come back to that. He made this insane catch along the sidelines with one hand. Jeremiah Smith is going to be another Buckeye stud from the wide receiver position. Is just I can't wait. 6'3", 185, so kind of that Marvin Harrison build.
And we just got to hold on to him. I mean, obviously we got to hold on to him. He the quarterback in that class might go a long ways, and where he goes. A lot of these quarterbacks, when they start committing, they're all going to be recruiting, so they're going to be pulling them towards them. We need to have that quarterback in that class that can anchor him back with us. I think that's important. I think that's a huge deal in the way recruiting is today.
Right, here it is. This might not be the best view, but it's a good view of what he can do. Share. Back it up. Boom. One-handed to the outside shoulder. Beautiful. The kid's going to be good. Anyway, that's enough of recruiting talk for tonight. I got some comments coming in. I got Micah says, still a lot of Buckeyes playing in the NFL playoffs, cheering for Cincinnati all the way. I think we're all right there with you.
Yeah.
Steven says 6'1" is small for a QB. I agree.
Hey, Marcel,
he says
5'11".
But he says Jaden will be a Buckeye.
It all comes down to how does that conversation go? How did he feel when Raiola committed and Ohio State said, all right, we're done with quarterbacks. Boom, Raiola's in. Did they seal it off, or were they still in kind of contact with him? Because obviously, the writing was on the wall that two of those top guys weren't going to come together. So, how does he rekindle that, and how do we keep him from going to Michigan so he doesn't have this fucking dagger ready for us every year on being spurned in high school? I know they were in on him early. It'd be nice to have him, I guess. It does concern me, that size. But I really don't know. I haven't seen a bunch of tape on him to know really what type of quarterback he is. Does he move well outside the pocket? I don't know. So, but I think we definitely need to get a top tier quarterback in this class. I mean, we need to have one every class. It just helps anchor in the recruitments of these receivers, especially.
All right. So last topic before we get out the door.
Yep.
Sean, I want to let you kick this one off. Why is Michigan so weird?
Well, that's a nice segue into the quarterback we're just talking about. I mean, that's the other thing. You got all these receivers. If you're a quarterback, where do you want to go play football? You know what Ryan Day's offense is all about, and it's all about giant numbers for quarterbacks. And you know what guys you're throwing to, the best receivers in the country, coached by Brian Hartline. So how does a kid like that go and play for that weirdo Harbaugh, who may or may not be under class 1 violations, whatever, and their other guy just got, I don't know, probably walked out of the building. I don't know if it was in handcuffs, but something's going on up there with something weird, maybe a Zach Smith or maybe worse, but it's something. Because they fired him. At first it was, put him on leave, this and that, and they're not saying much about it. But the Michigan way, they're better.
The process moves swiftly,
don't
doesn't
worry
it?
about it. But yeah, the whole thing, and it's just another thing that proves the age-old point that Michigan's better than you. So suck it.
Yeah, I've come to learn that over the decades of watching football and hearing about the greatness of Michigan men. And this is many of these points. You got the Mozzie Smith thing that was swept under the carpet for an entire football season. Weirdly,
nationally, that never made any. I never saw anything nationally.
Right.
About Mozzie
There was
Smith.
nothing locally. There was nothing locally until
that's what's laughable.
like the victims of, or not, they weren't even victims of the crime, but that's amazing that there was even nothing locally. But yeah, I didn't even know about it until halfway through the season.
But that
time after
Washtenaw
it happened.
That Washtenaw County DA, man, they had their claws out for that tunnel incident with Michigan State and charging all those boys.
Yeah,
that was that. Yeah, that we saw video of, and then an action taken swiftly.
guys were suspended within weeks of that. which, yeah, anyway.
Yeah,
you got the hamburger rule with Harbaugh. I think we all can kind of agree that violation of buying somebody a hamburger in and of itself is not anything to get worked up about. And it wasn't to the NCAA. It wasn't to the NCAA either. The lying about it or just forgetting or whatever Harbaugh said that made them say you're being untruthful is the issue. And then they tried to have a resolution discussion last week, and the talks stalled out because Harbaugh refused to sign the fact that he was untruthful to the NCAA.
You know what? I admire that part about Harbaugh. That fuck you. No, I'm not falling in. I'm not falling in line with you because I disagree.
Not taking your deal.
I think it's hilarious that he's kind of thumbing up the NCAA, but to be able to be accused of lying and then to have a resolution hearing. Whenever I got caught lying, I never got afforded a resolution hearing where we could kind of work out what the end result would be. It blows my mind that you could even have one of those. But then to tell them, no, fuck you, I'm not signing. I'm not making this go away. I'm not signing your papers. I appreciate it because he's daring the NCAA to do something. And I probably have more venom towards the NCAA than I actually do Harbaugh because he does entertain me occasionally. The NCAA just exhausts me to no end.
Yeah. So, Sean, from your local point of view, is what are people talking about up there? Just generally, whether it's water cooler talk or local talk radio, which one of these topics, if any of them, are being discussed?
Unfortunately, I was out in New York for a good part of the week last week.
I'm sorry.
So I'm not 100% up on the local jibber jabber about it. I think it doesn't matter with Michigan fan. It's right. It worked out right. If Harbaugh would have left, that would have been the best thing ever to happen for him. If Harbaugh stays, that's the best thing ever to happen for him. So, Valeni will be up here and bash him every day, and they'll, it doesn't matter what weapons charge or rape incidents or coach violations or whatever it is, they'll figure out a way to be better than your dumbass.
All right. I was just curious if we're missing it from a national point of view. If there's something.
Well, I do think that there's this underlying thing with Michigan and their fans that Harbaugh, okay, Michigan man went there, has all the accolades, has this stuff. But Michigan as an institution and Harbaugh are really like antithesis of each other. Like the student body at Michigan and Harbaugh aren't the same type of people.
Oh,
and so I really think they'd prefer a more woke type of coach than Jim Harbaugh, but
they don't like
the guys
their milk
winning for him. They can look past his unwokeness if he gives them Big Ten championships, which I guess who wouldn't,
Yeah, it is funny how college football coaches and the student body most of the time are not in line.
No, I mean, you're right. They need each other, but if you were to sit down and talk with each other, you would realize, well, we're completely the opposite of what is going on in this country, and maybe a lot of cases.
But that's also cool because it's the one thing that it doesn't matter what you believe on this, I believe on that. This is the one thing that we can all agree on or disagree on.
Yeah.
That was gonna be my next point, Sean.
Sorry.
So it's the one good thing about but it's the one good thing about football. I think that's why a lot of us love it. I can not like a lot of people that I played football with, but when I played football, when we played together, we were good together, and none of that was ever even in my head about, certain relationships. But it could, because you were, focused on playing football really well. So that's why we all love sport, right? And Democrats, Republicans, Jews, Palestinians, whoever, they can all root for the same team.
Yeah.
It's weird. It is weird up there. His offense coordinator getting fired. What kind of negative recruiting can come of that? Will it impact anything at all? Probably not
What
much
is
at all.
it?
I'm
What
guessing.
is it?
I'm
So
guessing
vague.
Mike
It's
Hart's
like
gonna get a
online.
promotion. Is what I think. What that means is Mike Hart gets a promotion. Maybe
I haven't heard of
co-offensive
people other than online or something.
It was emails. He was accessing emails fraudulently. So from what was reported, I read the article, and of course the fucking athletic director, just his statement says, we've let go of Matt Weiss at his position, blah blah blah. Within and then he just says, per our university policy, there will be no further comment as to any personal matters. And then they just ended it like, of course we don't have to say anything about it. He's like, we don't speak any more of it. But yeah, he's fired. So they're not going to give any more comments. But how negatively will that help or hurt? Hurt the football program and recruiting and whatever. Who knows? Probably not much at all.
No, I don't.
Just a
I don't
little,
think
just a little
that
black eye.
itself, that itself is not going to affect recruiting at all.
And unless there's a story there, where he's maybe, where there's like some harassment and shit, and he's trying to scope people's emails to, harass people or spy on people or something like that. There might be a story there. What he was, the reason for what he was doing, that might turn into a big story. It would be interesting to see if it does, and if Michigan's able to keep it squashed like they are so good at doing.
Yeah.
Something maybe 2-3 years from now, Don Van Natta from ESPN's fucking breaking it down for us on a 2-hour special, and then, and federal charges are coming all across the board, but who knows? But yeah, welcome to big time college football, Michigan. You fucks. Yeah. Now you have black eyes just like everyone else. So quit fucking pointing the finger. Glass houses.
Black eyes.
Black eyes, glass houses. Knock your teeth out. Go fuck yourself.
All right, guys. Great show tonight. We appreciate everybody joining us. Like I mentioned earlier, podcast listeners, check out TBC Premium. Get your commercial-free podcasts. Get early access to the shows every day. What else? Anything else? No, nothing else. Thank you, Joe. Good talk. Jeff and Sean, appreciate you. And we will talk to you next week.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man.